This is TB Talks and BS Walks. Join the conversation or the BS. Here are the masterminds behind the microphone, Tyler and Brian.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 1. It is finally here. I've talked about it. It is now coming to fruition. I'm Tyler Blair, but I can't leave out my good buddy Brian. Brian, what's
hey man,
up,
how's
pal?
it going? Doing all right.
It is going. The podcast is finally here, man. We've talked about it, and this is episode 1. So we are officially on our training wings, brother.
It took long enough. Weeks of planning, weeks of setting up, weeks of twiddling thumbs because I didn't want to look up political stuff.
This is I will go ahead and let our listeners know now, this is a work in progress. We are doing this on a cell phone and a computer right now because I just bought a house and finances are tough.
Yep.
But with support of the listeners, hopefully we are going to upgrade equipment as we go. And things are going to get rolling. This first podcast is going to feel pretty loose. We're trying to. This is a first-time thing for the both of us, so we are popping both of our cherries right now, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, that was an extreme lack of a better term, but okay, yeah, we're breaking new ground would have been acceptable. But whatever.
So when discussing the podcast, we decided that we didn't want to talk about one certain topic because I'm the only sports guy in the group.
Pretty much.
Brian hates sports, and I hate Brian.
It works.
So this is. We decided that we didn't want to talk about one certain topic, so we're going to kind of cover a little bit of everything.
This way, while everybody else is getting to learn. I'm learning too. Like I said, I'm not he's right. I'm not a sports guy. I have a favorite sports team, football, but I don't know who plays on that team, and even
who is your favorite sports team, by the way? I love
the Green Bay Packers. I just don't know who's on it. Yeah, I keep on thinking there's a guy named Jefferson. I'm pretty sure there's a guy named Jefferson. I just don't know what position he plays. That's how interested I am in sports. Like, I have a favorite team. I love it when they make it to the Super Bowl. I go to the Super Bowl party when they make it to the Super Bowl. Have no idea who's playing. No clue.
So you watch football
Basically.
One time a year? If the Packers go to the Super Bowl? Okay. I mean, man, I'm a Chiefs fan, so, we never go to the Super Bowl, so at least you've got me beat there. It's a tough life being a Chiefs fan. I'll tell you that. However, I'm hopeful every year. Every year we get some new draft picks, and I'm always hopeful, but I'm always left making that walk of shame.
It happens.
So, a little backstory. I guess we should give them the backstory between you and I. I guess it was around 2008. We both worked at Walmart, and I started out in the back unloading freight, and then moved to electronics. And I believe you were in Connection Center.
Cell phones. Woohoo!
So Brian and I kind of became friends, and then you had to move to New Mexico.
Shortly after I got married. There was a lot that happened in between. We're leaving out quite a bit. Walmart.
Well, fill in the gaps, man.
You were friends, I think, with Matt before we had actually got a chance to meet, and it's through Matt that we started talking. You met most of your extended family now.
Right.
Walmart, and I knew them ahead of time.
That is true.
Except for, I think, Brittany I hadn't talked to so much. So, I met her there, but I don't think her and I talked too often. I knew her mom and her dad mostly, her stepdad. But, you know, we kind of met through mutual friends, but we kind of had almost a connection right off the bat as friends. Because there were a lot of similarities that we liked. Though you didn't know I liked music, that was one of them. We liked to sing, we liked to listen to music, we liked games. I mean, we did all kinds of stuff. I think it was after you left Walmart, though, where we did the overnight thing, where we tried to play Fear.
Oh yes. The scariest game I've ever played in my life.
I think that was one of the pinnacle moments in our friendship, because neither one of us wanted to turn off the TV or have all the lights off at one time after that.
Well, and then we started playing the game, and the next thing I know, you were hugging me. So I don't know how that happened. I mean, there's some gaps in there that I'm missing, but I do know that we were both terrified.
Hey,
so
when I'm scared, I need a cuddle buddy. That just happens. Everybody needs a cuddle buddy.
You know, it's kind of like a thunder buddy when it's storming, I suppose.
Yeah. Though you didn't have to take your shirt off.
So,
that was where it got a little strange.
So, you got married and moved to New Mexico, or moved to New Mexico and then got married. I'm not sure which order it was. Did you meet her in Missouri?
No, I actually met her when I was 7 years old. We lived in the same place in Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico. And,
okay. So you guys were were you guys childhood friends? You know,
we
did you
kind
guys
of lost contact
grew up together?
with each other. We both moved to separate Air Force bases after that. And when my dad retired and moved out to Missouri, I can't remember who exactly. Everybody wants to take credit for us meeting. Her aunt, her mom, my grandmother, they all want to take credit for us reconnecting. But it was about...
Of course they do.
I don't know, roughly a week after we started talking, we were engaged, roughly.
Man, you were rocket speed, didn't waste any time.
Well, when you know, you know.
That is true. Brittany and I met. She came to a performance I was doing, a music gig, and we made eye contact, and that was pretty much it, man. So I totally can relate to that. But no, it's cool. We've been able to stay in touch via Xbox Live, and then I decided one day that you want to do a podcast, and you so graciously obliged.
Oh yeah, it was nothing. It was something new, something challenging, so I thought we'd give it a try. I had not done it before.
Now, Brian has a Twitch following, Code and Riley Gaming, I believe. Isn't that your Twitch handle? Is that correct? So he's got the Twitch. And what kind of stuff are you playing on Twitch, man? If people want to follow you, what kind of stuff are you playing?
Right now I'm having computer issues. We're lucky we're podcasting right now. But normally, when I have it up and running, I do Xbox One games, old Xbox games. I have PlayStation 4 that I'm going to start playing games off of eventually. I was going to do Nintendo, but I hear Nintendo has some very strict streaming rules, and I don't want to get sued. Not right now. Maybe when I'm a multi-millionaire off in some mountain somewhere.
So what's the issue with streaming Twitch with Nintendo? What's their issue with that?
It's a lot of copyright. A lot of copyright laws you have to get by, and you have to get permission for certain things, and
Nintendo has kind of dropped the ball in the last few years. I can remember when the Wii came out. We were both working at Walmart when the Wii came out, and that was such a hot item. And then the Wii U tanked. And as far as the sales aspect of it goes, it tanked. And then it sounds like I heard they had a good E3 this year. I didn't get to watch it, but I heard their E3 was good. People were hopeful about the Switch.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really help them that they're not as open to live streaming as, say, Sony or Microsoft.
Well, I mean, when you follow in the footsteps of like Apple and Disney, it's kind of hard to really get yourself out there from the lower level standpoint, from just a consumer standpoint. Like Disney's real big on copyright, Apple's real big on copyright, and they're so restricted on what you can use their stuff for. And then you have Nintendo, which is kind of the same way, and it's nothing. Like, I don't want to knock Nintendo. A lot of people make fun of them. I love their games. I would love to show their games. I would just love not to get sued for it. That's all.
Well, I bought a Wii U for my daughter, and she doesn't ever play it, so I'm thinking that thing's getting ready to hit the selling block. But I kind of have mixed emotions on the Switch. I've thought about picking it up, but they just don't have any games right now. I'm not a Legend of Zelda fan. I know I'm in the minority there, but I'm not I'm probably going to get tons of hate mail on the Twitter now because I said I'm not a Zelda fan.
No,
but
for those listening, I am a Zelda fan, and even I wouldn't buy the Switch right now because there's not enough games.
I think the only full game release was Breath of the Wild, correct? I mean, they have some other games that are out, but are they full release games, or I thought they were more like
I think Mario was released the same day, and so was Skyrim. I think all three of those were first day releases. I'm not positive on that though, but
I knew you said you were going to pick up the Switch, so I see you haven't done that yet. So, which I mean, that's you can wait it out.
I like the old games too, and that's one reason why I still have a Wii, is because I can go back and play, Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World or Star Fox 64. I can go back and play those old games on my Wii. I can't do that on the Switch. I've thought about getting the Wii U just because of the upgraded graphics, and they actually redid some of the old games to work on the U, so I thought that would be cool. And then when they came out with the Switch, I thought for sure they were going to have a Nintendo Marketplace that's going to have a whole bunch of games, and no, they got nothing right now. And that to me is not worth the Switch. That's what made the Wii worth it to me, was all the old games. I didn't have to go and find an emulator, or go and find an old system and restore it, or go and find the new old systems that play the old cartridges and all that. It was just right there. I could just download my favorite ones. So losing that ability on the Switch right now just doesn't seem worth it to me, because I am a retro gamer. I like playing the old games.
Speaking of retro gamer, I was just in GameStop the other day, and we all know that I have a love-hate relationship with GameStop. The only time I ever shop at GameStop now is for consoles or accessories, because I can't get those things digitally. If I could buy accessories digitally, I would. If I could buy consoles digitally, I would. But and I will explain my love-hate relationship with GameStop is because you can buy a used game. Actually, you can buy a brand new game. You can walk in the store, pay shelf price for a brand new game, open the package, walk right back inside, try to sell that game, and they buy from you for half the price, and they make an 80% profit margin.
Not even half the price. Not even.
So yeah, I mean, you can buy a $60 game, and what they buy it for 25 or 15. So I was in GameStop to pre-order the Xbox One X Project Scorpio edition. I actually managed to snag the last pre-order, and when I was in there, I was down to the wire, man. One of our mutual friends had pre-ordered it, and there were 2 left at that time, and I was at work and didn't get a chance to go. And by the time that I had got off work that day, they were both gone. So I called one store left and had to drive, 25, 30 miles. But they said we have one left, so I was able to snag it. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But while I was in there, I asked them about the mini Super NES that's coming out. They released the miniature Nintendo. And now they're doing the same thing with the Super, and she said that the pre-orders sold out in 25 minutes.
Nice.
So, and they're not expected to get any more. So, I was totally excited about getting one of those because I missed out on the regular Nintendo when they've already have ceased manufacturing on that. But looks like I'm not going to be able to get the Super either unless I can score it on eBay.
Oh, you know that's going to be a. Hope you have a couple thou on you, because I don't see you picking that up for less.
You know, I mean, I guess when I get my new computer, I can just download an emulator. But I mean, it's kind of
allegedly download.
It's kind of not the same.
Allegedly, not actually pirating.
It's kind of the same thing, though. You know what I mean? Because there's something about holding that controller in your hand. That's a piece of history.
And my brother has my stuff. He has my old. Well, I think I gave it to him all. He has he has what was my Super Nintendo. It's his now. He has a Super Nintendo. He has a Nintendo 64. He has basically everything up to the Wii except the GameCube that I had. I gave it to him. And so, you know, he's got the old square Nintendo controllers. He's got the Super Nintendo rounded controllers with the buttons and everything. And it's so cool. And, you know, I moved on to the Wii, and then I sold my Wii, and then I rebought my Wii, and it's gotten crazy. But, yeah, as far as...
Best console ever, in my opinion, was the Nintendo 64, hands down.
It had its games. Like, it had some of my favorite games on it. But I don't have a favorite console, really. I mean, if I had to pick one, it would be my Xbox right now. Just because a lot of my, you know, a lot of the high-tech games, a lot of my favorite newer modern games are all out on the Xbox. Like, Anthem's coming out here soon, which is awesome. We have Shadow of War coming out here that I'm super excited for, but I gotta wait on the purchase of that one. Then there's Ark Survival Evolved that's just got its full release date today, and it's been a wonderful game for me. I've enjoyed it. Not everybody I've played with enjoys it, but
are they going to change? Are they going to change a lot? You know, on the full release versus everything up to this point with the alpha and the beta and all that stuff. I mean, are they expected to change a whole lot, or is it pretty much going to stay like
there
it
is talks of mods that are on the computer that have been endorsed by Wildcard coming to the Xbox. They don't have an exact release date on that. One, though, already has come, and that's the Ragnarok map. They've already changed the UI, the menu screen, everything for Ark while you're in game. So like when you used to bring up your inventory, it was all set up a certain way. Now they actually have it a little bit more, I don't know, focused, I guess is a good way to put it. It's a little more focused. It's not as scattered as it used to be. So I really enjoy the new look. But yeah, it's full release now, and they've added a few things, like I think what was supposed to be in this update was a tech shield and plasma sword. And you know, we've been talking about games for a while now, so I'm going to wrap it up. But you know, it looks like they're going to open it up a lot more. We've lost a few servers. We're gaining a few more. They're allowing outside sources like you and I to rent servers, so we can have our own servers, you know, that'll house like 30 people with a password and all this, and all our friends can play on that server for like, if they do from the PC standpoint, for like $30. You pay $30 a month and 30 people are able to play. Everybody pays $1 basically. Yeah, so they're opening up a lot of options, so it's exciting. But,
well,